Some of you have been saying that you've been having problems with Magic School, so I thought I'd try and take you through it by making a little video to see if that helps. Um, have a good look at the title screen. The title screen gives you your task. It says combine the clauses to make a complex sentence with relative clauses, and to change a complex sentence with relative clauses into two separate sentences. So there's different things that you might need to do, but it's all to do with these relative clauses. Let's first of all have a look, because each part starts with a question about whether or not something has a relative clause. And what we've got here is we've got this sentence. Zach was experimenting with ingredients. He was in the potions lab. Does this passage have a relative clause or does it have no relative clause? No relative clause is what you've got here because it's two sentences. Relative clause will have something with, it will have the relative pronoun like who, where, when, whose, have one of those sort of words in it, that's giving you a little bit more information about the subject of the sentence. So let's have a look then at the next part, because maybe it's the next part that's causing a little bit of problem. So I've lost my mouse. Here we go. Right, so here's the next bit. It looks a little bit like this. So you get a sentence with all these little boxes. Those boxes can move, so you can click on them and drag on them. You can drag them out of the sentence. You can move words around in the sentence. So you've got your original sentence, which is Zach was experimenting with ingredients, full stop. He was in the potions lab, full stop. So what you need to do is you need to drag in and put in your relative clause. Your relative clause is going to be one of the sentences with the word who into it. So you could have um, Zach was experimenting with ingredients. He was in the potions lab. I could take the Zach was experimenting with ingredients bit and use the who with that. So I could use Zach who was experimenting with ingredients, and then I could add on the end was in the potions lab. I would need to remove the he from that second part. I could also do it a slightly different way by moving the whole of the sentence, whole of the second sentence to after Zach. So I could have Zach, comma, who was in the potions lab, comma, was experimenting with ingredients, full stop. And there are two commas there because you always have the two commas that go around the relative clause. Okay, so if I have a look at this one now, just 1 second while I try to fiddle with this. Bring it to the front. All right, so this now is, it's not quite finished, but you can actually see where I've changed it slightly. You can compare the two of them. You can see where I've moved Zach, comma, who was experimenting with ingredients, was in the potions lab. I've removed the he, but I still have a comma to put in to finish it off. I hope that helps.